Hi, welcome back. Well, I thought I would do something that I haven't done for a little while, and that is give you a tour of my fridge, because after all, who doesn't love nosing around in somebody's fridge? I know, I love to look when people on social media do that. So here we go, this is mine. Some of the things that you'll probably always find, but now I think with a special nod going into autumn, winter, some of the things that can help keep my immune system a bit stronger maybe. So well, let's start from the top down, shall we? So obviously gut-friendly stuff. I've got some sauerkraut here. That's just red cabbage in brine. I made it a while ago, so I've stopped it fermenting by actually putting it in the fridge. Obviously, I would start it off at room temperature. I do buy pre-packaged stuff, so this is just some Isle of Wight tomatoes, some passata, makes a really good base for like bolognese and sauces. I've got loads of cucumbers in the garden growing. So, don't know what to do with them. There's only so many cucumbers that you can eat. So, pickled cucumbers, really good. Look, I've got some chopped up onions and bay leaves and some dill seeds and juniper berries, just pickled like that. So I'm going to keep those in there for a bit. That's my fridge alarm. I'm going to have to probably keep pressing that because it's going to tell me to shut the door. So other weird things that you might occasionally find, which I have to say to my kids, don't necessarily eat these, you know. So I got sent this. I don't know whether you guys have ever tried it. It's called sea moss. Haven't actually tried it yet, but it says keep me refrigerated. So that's in the fridge. That's on my research pile. Cream. Now I do love cream. You know, I love full fat dairy. So I've got single cream, double cream. If I can find cream in glass, then I'll go for that. So this is Tom Parker, comes in glass and double cream. Put a little bit in my coffee, really good, feels like a special treat when I do that. Moving down here, yogurt, obviously again, if I can find it in glass, then I will. I just always go for plain, natural, live yogurt, as long as it says live on it. A bit of lemon. Lemon I use for all sorts of things. Put it on grilled fish, meat. I also put a little squeeze in my sea salt water if I'm kind of making homemade electrolyte drinks. This is kind of part of an experiment you might have seen me do before. This is how to test if you've got real olive oil, because it tends to go solid when you refrigerate it. So this is some of the good stuff here. This one is work in progress. I'm going to see whether that solidifies. And actually talking about solidifying fats, I also save things like beef dripping or fat that's come off bacon, chicken or whatever. It's a really stable saturated fat and it's really economical, so I just drain off the juices, keep them in the fridge, and then I use those if I'm frying things. More fats here, butter, obviously plain salted butter and unsalted butter. Blueberries, just because, oh, they are so good to snack on. If you feel like something sweet, come in, just grab 2 or 3 blueberries. It does the trick, full of anthocyanins, again, if you're looking to load up on antioxidants for the season ahead. More berries here. This is actually some homemade red currant jelly, which has been in the fridge for a while, but it just keeps. It's just sugar and red currant stewed up. Really like that with lamb, red currant jelly and lamb. Oh, fantastic, my favourite. Then I've got, these actually aren't mine, these are Brella's. These are her fish oils. Massive, great big pot that she's got here. Always good to keep your fish oil supplements in the fridge. I've actually got some more of mine in the door, which I'll show you. This is some hummus that I made. Hummus is a really good high protein, plant-based snack. So this is chickpeas, tahini, a little bit of lemon juice, some garlic, a little bit of olive oil. You can flavour it with other things. And then where I can, I try not to use cling film. So these are just like little waxed wrappers that you can use. You can buy packs of these and you can just wipe them clean and they go on forever. Really good way of just preserving things without having to buy endless amounts of cling film. I've got some nice homemade jam that somebody made for me, raspberry jam. If you're buying jam, always look at the label. Make sure, simple rule, more fruit than sugar. Then you know that it's slightly lower in sugar. Sometimes if you buy commercial jam, it's packed full of sugar, little bit of fruit, and maybe they bump it up with flavourings or colourings or whatever to make it look good. But you know, make your own, or if you're lucky, you'll get given some. Or if you're buying, make sure fruit first, then the sugar content. A couple of things that I made. So these are pesto sauces. I've got lots of basil growing at the moment, so it doesn't really freeze well. It's hard to keep fresh basil. So I've made pesto sauce. This is basil with pine nuts all smashed up together, a little bit of olive oil, some salt. You can add a bit of garlic if you want. And then this one is a bit different. This one, you can tell I've been eating it. This is a pesto, but it's actually made with walnuts instead of pine nuts, and it's watercress. So it's whizzed up watercress with a little bit of olive oil and some walnuts. Really good. Again, if you want a snack, you can have it on toast. You can have it just with a little bit of pasta. Quick, simple, easy meal. This drawer is where I keep my cheese. So what have I got in here? I've got some cheddar, got some parmesan, I've got some really nice goat's cheese there. I'll probably keep that for the weekend. Always try and have a little bit of goat's cheese. In fact, people who say that they can't tolerate full fat dairy can often tolerate goat's cheese or sheep's cheese because the fat molecules are smaller, so they're more easily digested if you're a bit sensitive. I've got some homemade mushroom soup there. I try and keep, during the week when I'm working, just lots of things that I can just grab and eat quickly. Mushrooms, we know, are a really good source of vitamin D3 if they've been exposed to sunlight while they've been growing, or maybe you put them on a sunny kitchen windowsill before you go to cook them. And I've got a bit of cream in here. I've also put a bit of bone broth in here, so it's actually got a good protein source as well. If you can add bone broths or protein powders to your soups, it's a really easy way of getting some extra protein in with your veggies. Talking about protein, I've got some red meat, a little bit of steak there. That's a nice little bit of a treat there. And I've also got some bacon. Tend not to eat very much bacon. Don't really eat very much processed meat. This is unsmoked bacon. It does have the nitrites in it as preservative, but it's not smoked. So it probably has slightly fewer of the nasty additives in it. And as I say, I don't eat it very often, but it is nice sometimes to have it with eggs. You'll have spotted maybe a bottle in here. Hey, come on, it's not all goodness, is it? This, actually, I'm saving for a special occasion. It was a friend of mine who came to visit who brought it to me because it is a sparkling wine from England. Not allowed to call it champagne if it's grown and produced in England. Actually from Dorset. So there's a vineyard down in the West Country. Haven't tried this yet. It's called Langham. So yeah, I'm going to save that, pop the cork when I've got something to celebrate. And then moving down to the veggies and things in the drawers. Always have a bit of ginger on the go. Ginger, fantastic. You can put little slices in hot water with a little bit of honey and lemon. Really antibacterial, very good if you're feeling a bit sore throaty or you've got a cough or a cold coming on. And obviously you can add it slicing into stir fries or just grate it. You can add it into smoothies, all sorts. I've got my greens. These are homegrown microgreens. So these are all sorts of little different pea shoots and types of cress and things that just grow really easily. You can grow them in the windowsill, in pots rather, on the windowsill. Bit of homegrown lettuce. Lettuce commercially is very often sprayed. It's one of the highest users of pesticides, so actually buying shop bought lettuce, unless it's organic, can be a bit of a risk when it comes to pesticide residues. So I have a bit of homegrown lettuce there. Down here, more greens. Some of my favourites, tender stem broccoli. This is not homegrown, but I do love broccoli. The brassicas are particularly good for a process called methylation in the body. So again, very good for our immune system. I've got some cucumbers there, which I'll probably chop up and put into salads later. I've got some supplements that I'm experimenting with in the bottom drawer, so I'm not going to reveal those just yet. But let's move on to the door. So what do I keep in the door? So milk, obviously. I'm really lucky I have a raw milk dairy near me, so I tend to buy raw milk where I can. Kefir, obviously, always kefir. If I've got time, I will make my own. And in fact, I have here kefir grains. This is a company called Kai Kefir. I've also got Nourish Kefir starter cultures. That's if I feel like making it. I've also got some starter cultures for yogurts. So maybe at the weekend I might make some yogurt. These teaspoons are here for a reason. It's not just a bit random. Try and keep cold teaspoons in the fridge, because if you're feeling a bit puffy under the eyes, you've probably seen me do this before on Instagram. but it's a really good little hack actually, just to help depuff the eyes. So try and keep a couple of teaspoons in there at the ready. What else have I got? Okay, so I mentioned the omega-3s, the fish oils. So I've got a couple of brands here that I take. This is Bare Biology, and this one is Wild Nutrition. So I do vary them because they contain different ratios of DHA and EPA. So I just think it's quite nice just to ring the changes sometimes, but I do always keep them in the fridge. And always check the use by date as well, because what you don't want to do is be having rancid oil supplements. Then other things, I've got a little, this is really cute, this is a little bit of vanilla pod. Sometimes I'll use this in milk to flavour it, or for like puddings, crumbles. Scrape some of the seeds out, put them in a smoothie. Really good to have like real vanilla. And then seasonings. So just making things like eggs and chicken and meat taste a bit more interesting. Got 2 different types of mustard. I've got whole grain and Dijon mustard. They sit in my fridge. And then things like anchovies, little anchovy fillets. Again, these last for ages in the fridge. Salted anchovies, only need a tiny bit, but they'll transform a simple dish like scrambled eggs. And also the other thing that is quite good to keep is capers. Again, you just need a tiny bit, but they're really intense in their flavour and just nice for cheering things up. Things that perhaps aren't quite so healthy. Again, this was given to me by a friend. Elderflower vodka. Sounds delicious. So yeah, it says serve with tonic. Might do that on a Friday night. And I keep some of my medicinal mushrooms as well if I've opened them. This is lion's mane, so this is one that is very good for focus. I've talked about it before, lion's mane being particularly good for mental health, cognitive function, memory. If you have anybody in your family with neurodiversity like ADHD, ADD, then lion's mane is one to certainly look into. Then this is more for the kids really, but maple syrup. If you're buying maple syrup, make sure it's real maple syrup. There's a lot of maple syrup styles, which is just corn syrup or liquid fructose with a bit of flavouring. This is a lot more expensive, but then you use it more sparingly because it's so expensive, you're not going to waste it. So it's actually quite good, I think, just to have a little bit of the real stuff rather than a lot of the sugar syrup. Oh, something else for the eyes actually. These are little chilled eye patches you can put over the eyes. You can see there's a bit of a theme here, alcohol eye patches. And then liquid supplements. So I tend to buy quite a lot of things from Youth and Earth. I'll pop all the links below, by the way, because some of these brands we do have Liz Loves discount codes, which is helpful because they're often not the cheapest. So I've got here resveratrol. This is a liposomal liquid resveratrol, and quercetin and fisetin, and last but not least, liposomal glutathione. So I take a spoonful of all 3 of these, usually last thing at night or sometimes first thing in the morning, whenever I can remember. I've written a lot about these on Earle Wellbeing, so you will find more information about why I take them. And I've also written a lot about them in my book, A Better Second Half, because these 3 in particular I think are very good for longevity. Glutathione, the fisetin and quercetin, and the trans resveratrol. And that is, I think, about it. Oh, 2 more things. This is a half-drunk protein shake. It's got milk, banana, a bit of protein powder, splash of kefir, some ground almonds, bit of vanilla. That's just there ready if I need to grab something. I'll probably finish that later. And last but not least, no fridge reveal would be complete without a bit of chocolate. Yeah, I keep mine right at the top in the hope that my kids don't find it, but sadly most of them are now taller than me, so they do find it very easily. These are dark chocolates, which they tend not to like so much, which is a win, isn't it? This is 73%. And this one is 85%. So I keep that there when I just fancy a quick snack. And actually, I think 1 square or so of really good quality dark chocolate is a very good health hack. And I'm sticking with that, okay? Contents of my fridge. What do you reckon? Did you spot any favourites? Is there anything in here that you have in your fridge? do share. We'd love to hear. You can always drop a comment below. Don't forget there's lots more on lizearlewellbeing.com if you want to check anything out. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you would like to, and I shall see you back here next time.